So, hey Taurus, my name is Chris, and this is your, do you even see me? Beautiful reading for whenever you freaking find it in 2026. Whenever you find it, there's something in it for you. I'm not doing the Celtic cross, but I'm doing 10 cards. And as so often, the Hierophant and the Ace of Swords shows up. A new consciousness, so you learn something. And there's this saying, you know, we come to this planet for two reasons. Right? We incarnate, whether you believe in that or not. I'm a Buddhist, so I believe in incarnation. So we come into this incarnation for two reasons. Sun card and the Hermit, are you kidding me? Beautiful energies. To learn something and, if we have learned enough, to teach something. So this is you following your own light, and then the sun comes out. So you have ended a search and found some aspect of yourself. Probably you found yourself. You integrated yourself, right? And there's a new consciousness. And from the Hermit to the Hierophant, you learned something. You leveled up in consciousness. The sun is out. The Ace of Swords is out. So now you have to embody and live that new integrated self, that new integrated version of yourself. There's the Three of Swords. You went on from heartbreak. Maybe it's still there. Maybe it's still somewhere under the surface, right? There is the Lovers and the Queen of Cups. So, so there is heartache, heartbreak. So if you have been through, I don't know, narcissistic abuse, if you've been through just a good old breakup, right? In relationships, whether it's family, whether it's actually a relationship romantically, or just a friendship, could be an old friendship as well. That hurt, right? That really hurt, and you slowly but steadily moved on from that. If you followed your own light, you followed your own truth, and now you're in a healed state, right? You're arriving at a healed state. Knowing yourself, knowing what you want, what you don't want, and communicating that. That's very important. Trust your feelings. There's the Lovers. The Lovers shows up all the freaking time in these readings whenever you find it, right? The Lovers. Beautiful frequency. And the best way to attract the right people in that regard, romantic relationships, this is definitely not friendship, this is romance, this is love, this is, right? And maybe it lasts for summer, maybe it lasts for longer. Just don't try to make it into something that it is not. Accept it for what it is. Listen to what people tell you, right? If they tell you, oh, I'm polyamorous, and you think, yeah, what the fuck? I don't really care. I just turn you into a monogamous person. No. That's not a good idea, right? So if you meet someone and she's whatever, telling you polyamorous, so practically an open relationship, right? Or multiple relationships next to each other. If you can deal with that, go for it, right? But if you want something else, then communicate that. And don't just say, oh, well, it's so nice, and I just ignore that, what he just said, right? Don't do that. Be smart enough to respect yourself enough to speak your truth, right? And to deal with the people just as they are, right? Not as you wish them to be. That's very, very important. And you have to know how you feel about stuff. When someone is telling you, I want an open relationship, and you want a you want a one-on-one relationship, right? Then it's not going to work out, right? So you have to be really smart about it, because you don't want that anymore, right? That's in the past. You're moving on from that. There's a new relationship at the horizon. Do yourself the favor. There's a lot of swords energy here, Three of Swords, and these are swords, right? So there was some sort of mindfuck, maybe related to the last relationship that kind of still hurts a little bit, maybe. But you know what? truthfulness, respecting your inner light, respecting yourself, showing up fully integrated with who you truly are and speaking your truth and feeling your truth and not sugarcoating things that, you know, no wishful thinking when it comes to love. Please do yourself the favor. We got 8 and we got 10. Work related, it looks pretty beautiful. The 8 of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. So your efforts, they fall on fertile ground, right? So everything that you're working on is kind of amplified and blessed. And, you know, Queen of Swords, ending any sorts of mind fucks. And literally, since it is so much emphasized here that you have to trust your feelings and be clear about it and communicate that and tell people, not in a, you don't need to argue or debate or anything. If somebody tells you, you know, that was my last relationship that kind of felt like that, right? He basically told me, look, I'm polyamorous, and I thought, what the F is that? And when I learned it, I thought, okay, maybe we can try this, but actually I don't really want that, right? But I kind of stopped at that part where I said, oh, let's try this. And my subconsciousness actually screamed at me, no, 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 that's not going to happen, right? We're going to be a one-on-one relationship or not at all. But I didn't listen to my subconsciousness. I didn't listen to my feelings, right? They were literally screaming at me, that's not going to happen. Might sound good on paper, might sound like a good idea, but feeling-wise, that's not going to happen, right? And I have been overwriting that, right? So that is not a good idea. Don't do that. You owe it to yourself. Be true to yourself, right? The Hermit and the Sun card. The Hermit is the one who is pretty much following his own light, following his own truth, his own integrity, authenticity. And you can shine now, right? It's a brand new day. You're not navigating some sort of dark night of the soul, which is the Hermit sometimes is associated with. But it's a bright day, right? It's summer, right? It's beautiful. 2026 frequencies are there. The lovers are there. You're moving on from something. Whatever you pay your attention on, work-related or to create something, is super supported here with the Queen of Pentacles as well. And you showing up as the Hierophant with your Ace of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Truth to yourself, truth and respect to yourself, and communicating that. Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So nobody feels the need to interpret too much, right? So you just be very clear what you want, what you don't want, and how you feel about stuff. There's the King of Cups, clarifying the Queen of Cups and the Lovers. Speak your truth when it comes to your emotions. Moving on to a new love, right? That's definitively here. And don't repeat the mistakes of the old, right? Moving on with the Page of Wands and the Hermit now, it becomes a little lighthearted. Everything becomes much more easier. The seriousness fades away. There's lovers, there's the Hierophant, and even the, you know, the sometimes a little seriously walking along Hermit, right? Kind of turns around and says, hey, let's just do this, right? Much more jolly good fellow energy with the Page of Wands, and there it is, the Sun card. Yeah, but you have to make a choice. There's the Seven of Cups. It's a daily choice to choose yourself, to choose authenticity, to choose integrity, to not lie to yourself, to not hide feelings from yourself. You're just the way you are, and you have to love yourself wholeheartedly. That doesn't mean that you give up on improving things, right? Not every bad habit is something that you just have to live with. You can still work on that, right? but on your own terms and on your own pace, basically. That's a love of yourself. That's self-compassion. That's Philautia. And part of Philautia, part of self-love and self-respect is also, that you keep improving yourself, but that you accept yourself wholeheartedly as who you truly are, with all of your shadow aspects, and then speak your truth, You don't have to tell everybody everything, but especially when it comes to relationships, friendships, family relationships, speak your truth, your emotional truth. And you might kind of, inspire others to do the same. If you do it in your family, if you do it in your circle of friends, if you do it at the workplace, if you speak your mind, if you, communicate your feelings, this is not okay because, sometimes a no is a complete sentence as well, right? But this is more about expressing your feelings in relationships, in love situations. And if you can do that and people see you doing it, it becomes easier for them to do it themselves. Work-related, follow your intuition, right? You're on the right path. There's justice. With the Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Let's do a few quotes here. All is well, just be, trust, be at peace. Isn't that beautiful, right? That's one of the best quotes you can get here on my little stack of quotes. All is well, just be, trust, be yourself and be at peace. And by all means, I would add, communicate your feelings. Just say it how it is. Polyamorous, not my cup of tea. If that's okay for you, then that's okay for you. For me, not okay. It's just not, it's something different than what I would associate with the lovers, right? Maybe it can be a friendship based on that, but the lovers is a decent grown-up relationship. Not bothering people seems to bother people. That sometimes is the case, but don't be bothered about that. State your will. Do not ask. Especially when it comes to relationships, that's much more fitting here. State your will, state your emotions, and state your will. Yeah, not in an aggressive or commanding way, but just for truthfulness sake. Just to make sure that everybody's on the same page and nobody is hiding something. If you build a relationship on someone is hiding aspects of himself or herself, that's a bad start. So be open and meet them on the same level and speak your truth, speak your emotional truth, state your will, what you like, what you don't like, things like that. Okay, that's too much to explain. There's another alternative quote, be human, be enough, be grateful, be blessed. Goes in alignment with the Eight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. So that's the side story. So just like that, right? You're intuitively working on something that is meaningful to you, and there's a great potential for wealth, abundance, and prosperity. And not just the potential; it's not the Ace of Pentacles; it's the Queen of Pentacles. Just follow your intuition, right? Do what you like to do, work-related. There is wealth, abundance, and prosperity at the horizon. So certainly the universe is totally on your side. And all you have to do is just be yourself, love yourself. And in a way, there's again and again, the hermit is basically the sage who's going through the dark night of the soul, who's still learning and processing his lessons, and then you come out as the Hierophant, from the learner to the teacher, and you learn a lot, you learn your lesson, but now you're about to teach, not so much by telling people what to do, but just being an example, by speaking your emotional truth. I don't feel good about this. I don't like that. All my batteries are drained. I'm going to leave now. Have a good evening or something like that, right? Even if if you attend a meeting, if you, I don't know, whatever it is, right? And you feel depleted after half an hour, then you leave because you respect yourself enough to realize, okay, I feel depleted after half an hour, so I leave because I have to take care of myself. So I have to recharge my batteries. This is also Philautia, self-love, not bending yourself into something or someone that you're not. 2 cards come out, Grace and Gratitude and Luna. I think they're both pretty good. This is for the old love. This is for the Tree of Swords here, right? That's in the past, thank God. You're moving on from that, but release, grace and gratitude. Release frustration and anger and express the love and light that you truly are. You are a beautiful soul, a beautiful friend, loved by so many. Why cloud this? Let the real you shine through. Be grateful for your life and the many blessings you receive each day. Gratitude will lead you to peace, and peace will lead you to abundance and joy. Focus on the good in your life and everything else will fall into place. Beyond thought, there's a knowing that embraces all knowledge, a knowing that does not divide nor keep one truth from another. Within this knowing, you will find all that you thought was missing. Within this knowing, you will rediscover your beautiful soul. Grace and gratitude, right? Release the old baggage, release the old mistakes that you might have made. There is this concept of self-forgiveness, but the best way to forgive yourself is to take responsibility and learn something from it and not repeat the same mistakes. And I think part of the mistake might have been not to say how you feel, right? And make sure not to repeat that in the next, even if it's just a summer affair or an autumn or fall or winter affair that is coming, but it's kind of at the horizon here. Speak your truth, Don't hide anything, and if it's not fitting, then it's not fitting. Then someone else will come where it fits better, but don't make it fit. No wishful thinking. Emotional healing is here as well. Lunar spirit. In the days leading up to the next full moon, you may feel unusual emotional for no apparent reason. You're experiencing an emotional healing, the release of unexpressed emotions that you have kept locked inside for a long time. Perhaps you had forgotten these feelings existed, so they come to remind you. Let them go, and you shall be healed. There's nothing you need to do or work through. Just allow your emotions to surface without trying to suppress them. What was I talking about? King and Queen of Cups. Nothing you need to do. Just allow your emotions to surface without trying to suppress them. Allow all to unfold as it will and trust it is a blessing. You will enjoy the benefits of this emotional release for years to come. Honestly, and if you need to, if you're in that funk that you need to throw a plate against the wall, make sure you're not disturbing any decent people, but or go into the forest and scream or something like that. But I don't really see that. I think it's over. You are grateful. You learned something about this. And you got so much going for you. 8 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. A lot to be grateful for. And embrace the in-between. And I really see you in between the learner and the teacher. You're becoming that teacher in some regard. You have learned a lot, and now you lead by example more than you give lectures or something like that. But you embody that, and that's the Hermit to the Hierophant. That's the first in between from the learner to the teacher, and the second in between is from the broken heart, kind of the old relationship, to emotional maturity at the beginning of that new relationship that is here on the horizon, right? Say what you want and what you don't want. Work related looks just fantastic. Just keep going into the direction. Everything will fall onto fertile ground. And that's all I got. Share, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it. And check out the summer reading for 2026. Check out the yearly reading. And if you want the full picture, you can always watch the sun, moon, and rising signs. That kind of works for all of my readings. Then you get a bigger picture from different angles and different positions in your charts. That's all I got. Now goodbye, my friend. Ciao.